journalistic values, bringing through your radio in-depth reporting of stories that helps you to develop a deeper understanding of issues.
Hello, good evening. It's 5 p.m. Welcome to 505. Coming up this evening, Ghanaians still approve of President John Dramani Mahama's performance despite a dip in his rating from 68% to 58.9%. That's according to a latest survey by the Institute of Economic Affairs. We'll share more details with you shortly. Also coming up, University Teachers Association of Ghana announced intentions to embark on a nationwide strike from June 15 if the Ministry of Finance fails to release the dollar exchange rate needed for the payment of book and research allowances.
This is what the nation has been waiting for. Journalism that builds a better informed society. Journalism.
So we have been the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission up to Friday. If we don't hear from them, national leadership will convene on Monday, and then our decision will be.
Well, Education Minister Haruna Idrisu sounds the alarm on indiscipline in senior high schools and says government will act decisively before the year is out.
One of the major problems we will deal with this year, 2026, will be stemming the growing indiscipline in our schools.
Well, still to come, Interior Minister grilled on how crime is being reduced, particularly land guard related violence. And it's just 24 hours to the FIFA World Cup 2026. We ask, who do you think will lift the trophy? Is it former champions or a new nation ready to make history?
Portugal beats Magic, Spain, Germany. I met 3 teams play. How many beats Magic World Cup?
My team is not going, or my favorite hasn't qualified. That is Italy. I'm sure Ghana will take it.
Brazil will win for sure.
We have these and more stories plus some interesting analysis to do. Stay with us. And this bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here. Digital address 0423598 North Laboni, Third Daddy Walk on Class 91.3 FM in Accra. We also live on Ho FM 92.5, Hills 91.7 at Daklu, both in the Volta region, Max Empire 96.9 at Bazua in the Upper East region, Dagbon FM 102.5 in Tamale, Radio Park 96 in Spain. We're live on Facebook. Connect with us or join us with a thought, comment, and contributions with a hashtag 505, alternatively through our WhatsApp number 0500,000 202. My name is Kwame Okyere Jnr. It's time. It's 505. Welcome. 505 is always brought to you by Electroland Ghana Limited, MTN everywhere you go, and reviews scratch for win. Now to the very first story. A majority of Ghanaians continue to approve of the performance of President John Dramani Mahama, according to a new nationwide survey conducted by the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA. Although his approval rating has declined from levels recorded last year, the poll conducted in May 2026 among more than 1,000 respondents across all 16 regions of the country found that 58.9% of Ghanaians approve of the president's performance in office. Meanwhile, 28.4% disapprove, while 12.8% express no opinion. The findings were released today, June 10, 2026, in an IEA report assessing public sentiment on President Mahama's stewardship 18 months after he assumed office in January 2025. While the latest approval rating remains significantly higher than the disapproval rates, it marks a decline from the 68% approval recorded in December 2025. My colleague Veronica Amade joins me with details on, of course, what the data and the figures say in the reports put together by Institute of Economic Affairs. Vero, good to have you on 505. So give us the breakdown, the details, the figures of what IEA has been sharing.
Okay, so Mahama's leadership 18 months after he assumed office, and according to the latest poll by the Institute of Economic Affairs, the survey credits improvement in the economy as the main reason behind the president's approval ratings. And although some respondents say the gains have yet to significantly impact their daily lives. The poll conducted in May 2026 and covering more than 1,000 respondents across all 16 regions of Ghana assessed public opinion on the president's performance since he took office in January 2025. So the survey comes against the backdrop of significant improvements in several key economic indicators. And so since the beginning of John Dramani Mahamat's administration, inflation has declined sharply from 23.5% in January 2025 to about 3.4% by April 2026. Also, the Ghana cedi has appreciated by 26% against major international currencies, while the Bank of Ghana's policy rate has been reduced from 27% to 14%. And so the average commercial bank lending rates have also fallen from approximately 32% to about 20%. And in addition, Ghana's debt to GDP ratio dropped from 61.8% at the end of 2024 to 45.3% by the end of 2025. And so these developments have attracted international recognition, with global credit rating agencies like Fitch, Moody's, and Standard & Poor's all upgrading Ghana's sovereign credit rating. And so according to the IEA, this marks the first time in many years that Ghana has received upgrades from all three major rating agencies, reflecting growing confidence in the country's fiscal outlook. And also against this economic backdrop, the survey found that 58.9% of Ghanaians approve of President Mahamat's performance in office and 28.4% disapprove, while 12.8% say they have no opinion. So although the President Mahamat's administration continues to enjoy majority support, the poll indicates a decline from 67.8% approval rating recorded in December 2024. And so the IEA says the drop suggests that while Ghanaians remain supportive of the president's leadership, expectations are growing for the benefits of economic recovery to be felt more directly in their daily lives. And so among respondents who express approval of their president's performance, according to IEA, the economy emerged overwhelmingly as their main reason. And so 73.5% cited the government's management of the economy, pointing to achievements such as lower inflation, a stronger currency, declining interest rates, and improved investor confidence. But road infrastructure was the second most frequently mentioned reason for approval, accounting for 16% of responses. Energy and electricity followed with 2.7%, while corruption accounted for 2.1%. And so other factors collectively made up to 61.1% of responses. And so the findings suggest that, okay, government's economic also featured prominently among those dissatisfied with the president's performance. And so 31.9% of respondents who disapproved cited economic concerns as their main reason. So the IEA explains that this may reflect their reality that despite improvement in national economic indicators, many households are also yet to experience significant levels or expanded employment opportunities. And so electricity supply was the second most also cited reason for the disapproval of 29.9%. And the survey was conducted shortly after temporary power supply challenges in May 2026, which resulted in frequent outages affecting homes and businesses in several parts of the country. So corruption was also identified by 19.1% of disapproving respondents as a major concern, indicating that, okay, some Ghanaians remain unconvinced by the government's anti-corruption efforts and continue to demand stronger action and greater accountability. So, and in summary, the IEA says that finding reveals that most Ghanaians continue to support President Mahama, and they acknowledge the administration progress in stabilizing the economy and advancing infrastructure development. However, the survey also highlights growing public expectation for improvement in living standards, reliable electricity supply, and also stronger measures against corruption. So this institute concludes that while confidence in the president remains relatively high, sustaining that support would depend largely on how effectively the government translates macroeconomic gains into tangible benefits for the ordinary Ghanaians.
I see. Vero, thank you so much for coming through with details of. In fact, she said everything the IES talked about this evening on 505 on Class 91.3. We'll engage political analyst and also a member from government. But these are the key things that we need to pick. So in 2025, people who approved President John Dramani Mahama's administration were 68%. That's in 2025. Now in 2026, it has reduced from 68% to 58.9%. So there's a difference of 9.1% drop. So that's the facts that we can put out. But let me speak with Mr. Kwame Okyere, who is a political analyst. He joins me on the phone. Mr. Okyere, I'm grateful for your time on 505. I'm sure that you've gone through the a little bit of the data of what the IEA talked about. So this is it. So they say that people who approve President John Dramani Mahama's administration is 58.9% as compared to 68% in 2025. It means that there's a drop of 9.1%. What's your overall assessment of IEA survey showing these figures of Ghanaians who approve of President Mahama's performance?
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. I am somewhere and I've not gone through the entire report.
Very well.
So I believe you'll guide me through the numbers and the percentage. So
very well.
We can move along.
Very well. Okay.
Actually, based on the report that the lady read, I was listening to it. I believe it has captured almost everything that the Ghanaian see, and I believe I agree largely with the report in its entirety. So I believe that is the reality on the ground. I believe so. So I believe generally my initial comment is I tend to agree with the report.
Well, despite the decline, of course, of the 68% now drops to 58.9%. Like I indicated, there's a difference of 9.1% drop there. Despite the decline, the president's approval ratings remained well above his disapproval rating. What does it tell us about public confidence in this administration of President Mahama?
First of all, I believe the approval by the Ghanaian population was reflected in the 2024 general election that we have. You can see the margins and the parliamentary seats won by the NDC government. I think the approval rate is basically because of what the Ghanaian is seeing. What the Ghanaian is seeing from the president. Because when it takes the economy in general, I mean, interest rates is stable, interest rates is coming down, foreign exchange rates is stable, inflation is down, and other things. So I think the Ghanaian population, I mean, is seeing something, and they think that the president is doing something right. And these are the things that we used to check, or these are the metrics that we used to check whether an economy is on its sound footing or kind of stuff like that. Secondly, when you see the ministers, you can see that the ministers are being put in check. So I think that is the reason why the approval rating is stabilized of a sort. Yeah.
I see. Now, what factors do you think may have contributed to the decline in President's approval ratings over the past 6 months?
So that's why I said I agree with the report. One, energy. Initially, you could see that in the beginning of the year, you could see that the energy situation wasn't all that good. And we had the kind of information that the energy ministry gave us as to the reason why there are fluctuations in power and kinds of stuff like that. So the energy was an issue. Even though there has been significant improvement in the energy issue, some areas are very stabilized, some areas it comes up and goes down. They are telling us that they are doing CC, they are changing transformers, they are changing lines and kind of stuff like that. So I agree with the report with the aspect to the energy issue. Roads. Most, there are so many roads in Ghana, one, that are no more trouble, that are not accessible. So I believe what the report said generally is true. The energy issue, the road issue, and kind of stuff like that. I believe it's entirely true.
Many are also linking this drop in figures to economic challenges, cost of living concerns, unmet, especially unmet campaign promises. These three factors, would you say you partially or largely align with?
Yeah, I tend to agree. One, some of the campaign promises have not been fulfilled. Especially the main campaign promise of the 24-hour economy has not been fulfilled. The government also tells us that right now the 24-hour secretariat has been established. The bill has been passed. So right now they are putting things together to roll out the policy. Two, the women's banking. The government also told us that, funds have been released for the initial setup of the women's banking. And other campaign promises. Probably that is why people are saying that those campaign promises are not fulfilled. So I believe on that score, I agree with Daniel. But talking of the fact that inflation is single digit doesn't automatically mean that the prices of goods and services are coming down. But the rate at which the prices of goods and services
move here to your office
are slowing. I hope you understand.
Very well.
So inflation doesn't mean that things are coming down, but the rate at which things are going up are slowing. So I believe those explanations should be situated in its right perspective for people to understand. I believe that one. And the cost of living, fine, depending on your perspective. That's how you say the cost of living. But in other areas too, things are picking up gradually.
I see. Mr. Kuria, I'll come back to you shortly. I've also been joined on the phone by the Director of Elections for the NDC, that's Madi Jibril. Do I have Madi on the line? Madi, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time on 505. Hello, Madi, are you with me?
Call has been put on hold.
Very well. So I'm trying to establish contact with Director of Elections for the NDC, Madi Jibril. Unfortunately, I'm unable to establish contact with him. I do have Madi on the line. Madi, good evening to you. I'm grateful for your time on 505.
Yes, I can hear you.
Madi, good evening to you. I'm grateful. Hello, Madi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. Now, I'm sure that you've gone through excerpts of the full details of what the IEA intends to communicate. It says that the IEA survey shows that 58.9% of Ghanaians approve of President Mahama's performance. So, as compared to 68% in 2025. What's your reaction to these findings?
Let me say good evening to your cherished listeners. I am not surprised because I believe in the leadership that we have. Our expectation as a party and the government when we came to power, some of the revelation that we came to meet, if you have not met them, I believe that even our rating would have even gone better than what we have seen. And I believe IEA was also following the challenges we came to meet on the grounds and the effort that the president has put in and his team to get us to this level. Within the year and a half, we kept into our promise that we will not go extend the IMF. We have done it, which is a bigger promise because our previous opponent government, when they spoke about the IMF, when they came, they extended. Okay, when they come to infrastructure, we are bound even to the international market for loans, but we're able to manage with our local finances to be able to manage our infrastructure projects that we are embarking on. Come to governance, for the first time, people have seen Chief Justice or the Supreme Court are free to rule the way they want. So when the government rating is going higher, I think that nobody has doubt on that. And I believe that even going forward, it will be even better than what we are seeing.
I see. Well, the survey indicates that a majority of Ghanaians still supports the president. Of course, do you see this endorsement as government policies or direction? Because many have also attributed the decline of a drop of 9.1% to some unmet policies. The 24-hour policy, for instance, the women's banking, of course. Although President Mahama has made some comments about the fact that there's a secretariat which has been launched. There's women's banking which is yet to be operationalized. These two major campaign promises by the government, it is partially unmet. Do you see the decline attributed to that?
Even if you are saying that these two major ones have only declined 1%, it means that it means that they haven't seen even the effort the government is doing with those major campaign promise. Okay, because it means that if it is a major and it didn't affect it even to say it's a 1% decline, then you can say that it means that even the survey have showed the commitment of the government on the 24-hour economy, on the women banking, because you see, what we are trying to do is to move away from political campaign project. When you come, you just say, because of politics, I just want to rush it and do it. At the end of the day, by the time you end up, you have really collapsed what we are doing. The MPP have learned lessons from what MPP have done when they came rushing to the free education without anything, only tell you that when they promised to solve it. But they ended, even by the end of the time they left 8 years, they told us that even the numbers that they told the Ghanaians that they have about 500,000 or 5 million, it was not that. Again, they rush on the free one factory, they rush on the one village, one dam, all because to get political scores. But all didn't help this country. So we are not doing that one. Even with those the things that you are talking about, and they're saying we are declining 1% point mark, it means that we are still at the good mark. Assuming they're even going through to see that the efforts are there. This is how we wanted to approach it, and they look at that point, and people understand that way. We discuss, we even go beyond what we are talking about.
The decline is actually 9.1%.
I'm saying that the decline, the number, in terms of the numbers.
Okay.
If you take the 24-hour economy, which people will tell you that is 70% of our campaign message, it means they could have affected it bigger. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Yes, it affected it bigger. But there's an effort that is being going through in the effort of 24-hour economy. We are talking about the economic 24-hour economy. It is not a political 24-hour economy we are talking about.
I see.
The structures, the things that will make your economy to run 24 hours. Anytime, any opportunity that the economy can run on that one. That is what we are talking about.
Although the approval rating remains positive, does this decline concerns the NDC as a party, especially when this is going to be the last term of President Mahama, which obviously subsequently the party would have to present a new candidate into the next general election?
I'm happy you say you are presenting. It means that it's not the end of the NDC. Okay? The party is the one going for elections. Whoever becomes the leader is the party that will go to elections in 2028. I'm saying that this promise of the 24-hour economy, by end of the year, I believe that people will come to appreciate the process and everything that we're putting into the 24-hour economy. That will now change the narrative that we are into this one. Yes, because it is not done fully. Surely it will decline. There will be some decline in terms of your rating in that front. Yes, you have not seen the human banking fully operational. Yes, you would say that because if you have 100 points of those things, at least 2 is out of it, right? So it's not surprising to say that you didn't score better in that one. Because if they say we have scored a positive in that area, it means that they also deceive the country. It's only telling you that these things are also a concern to the people of Ghana, that get it. But we are saying we'll get it and get it right.
So it's a matter of concern to the party?
It is a concern to the party. In fact, the party, apart from even the 24-hour economy, the way it's being presented, how we are putting it, and the women banking, Aura is also a concern to us as a party. For us, Aura is also concerned to us.
Class 91.3.
So whatever we promise to the people of Ghana, because we need to go back to the people of Ghana and say, we ask for these things from you. These are the challenges that we are able to do this one. But we should be able to be truthful to the people, to tell the people the exact things that has helped and for us to be able to do. And I'm saying that all the promise, and I'm happy that for all the promises that we give to the people of Ghana, I believe that apart from the things that we're talking about, the 24-hour economy, which even the process and everything secretariats are working towards it, which have gone to Parliament. First, the MPP said, if you have a policy, we should bring it to Parliament. We brought it to Parliament to be passed. So anybody in Parliament now cannot say that we are not doing anything about 24-hour economy. You get me?
Yeah.
So the process is going on. Perhaps how the Ghanaians want to see it, that's the issue. But when it comes to the issue of the women of banking, we told you that it's about the process. As soon as those processes are done, fixed well, because we don't want to start something just because of just the vote today, but for the good of the country in the future.
Finally, before I let you go, the survey also indicates that 28.4% of the respondents disapprove of President Mahama's performance. What do you make of that, especially when we say politics is about numbers?
No, 24. In fact, when we went for the 2024 election, we didn't get 100% vote. That means even if you ask an MPP person today, whatever it is, he will tell you, "I've not seen anything." He will add this part of their rating.
Okay.
So don't be surprised of those 24%. 24% selling. At least if you start counting from MPP, you understand what they will tell you.
Buddy, I'm grateful. But before I let you go, I know that today you celebrated the 34 years. Right? Just a brief one on that. What more for the party?
I would say that looking back, we're proud to say today the NDC that was birthed from the revolution. We have been able to protect our democracy both in government and opposition. Today we are proud that we've gotten to a point that the party that came there, people say that we are not even educated, there are not less people in the party. Today we are proud that any sector you can talk about how we give youth opportunity to lead this country. And this is what the country needs. 24 years of NDC in power, or as a political party. I am proud that I belong to the party that has come to this far, giving opportunity to youth, making sure that our democracy strive better than what we have witnessed across the country. We want to see more, but I believe that every NDC person today, we're proud that the 34 years to the party has not gone waste. It is right that we were a political party then, and today we are 34 years. Also adding to or contributing to our democracy for this country. And I believe that in the future even better than now.
See, Madi, let me thank you so much for your time. I wish you all the best. So that's Madi Jibril, who is the Director of Elections for the NDC. This is 505 on Class 91.3. Well, a visit by members of Parliament Minority Health Committee to inspect the abandoned Afari military hospital project ended in a confrontation with military personnel stationed at the facility, sparking questions about access to the site and the future of the project. The MPs, led by the ranking member on the Health Committee, Dr. Nanayo Friepan, visited the over 500-bed capacity hospital projects in the Atrima Ngwabeja district of the Ashanti region to assess its current condition. The facility remains uncompleted and largely abandoned despite years of construction. According to the delegation, the visit formed part of effort to evaluate stored health infrastructure projects in the region amid concerns about mounting pressure on existing facilities, particularly the Okonfo Anochi Teaching Hospital, where doctors are currently on industrial action, of course, subsequently suspending that action. However, shortly after the MPs began their inspection, military personnel stationed at the facility moved to halt their access, leading to a tense exchange between the two sides. Listen.
Stopping them. We are doing it for Ghana, not us. Officer. Why is he doing this? Officer, yeah, for you.
Don't do that.
No, there is no.
Don't go back. That is why we are going back.
Yeah, for the defense ministry. We are doing for defense ministry.
Emergency, do you ask permission?
No, defense ministry. Yeah,
Members of Parliament should ask permission from you.
But say you have
a minister.
No,
don't ask me that question.
Almost can you just had your way.
Don't ask me that question. So
we came here. We came here.
So that's exactly what happened during the inspection by the minority side of the health committee. We'll listen to Dr. Nanayo Freya shortly, but let me speak with a member on the health committee of Parliament's Thomas Anaba, Dr. Thomas Anaba. Doc, I'm grateful for your time on 505.
Thank you for having me. Good evening to you and good evening to your cherished listeners.
First of all, let me have your reaction to what many describe as a confrontation at the facility.
To me, what is more important is not a confrontation. It's whether the hospital is being completed for people to get healthcare delivered there for their benefit. The facility is for government.
Mm-hmm.
The government is supposed to take care of the facility and protect it against intruders. So if people decide to go there at any time without official notice, because of the investment that has been put inside, they can be blocked because it's a government facility and it's a military facility. So I don't see any problem with it. If actually you want to go and inspect a government facility, you must ask for a permission, especially if it's under construction. This is not the first time. It happened during the previous government where Akando and then the rest went to inspect a health facility. They were blocked. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
It happened when Sami Jenti went to inspect just a dam. They destroyed that house. They blocked him from going to inspect and to report on the dam. So it is government prerogative to decide, this is my property, who to come in at what time and who to go out at what time, especially if the facility is not open to public. Government can block anybody from going there.
So
I think this tug of war to me is very, very unnecessary, because the most important thing is, why is the hospital not completed for us to use?
And I'm sure that was the purpose for the visit, but unfortunately it turned to be something else.
They could ask a question in Parliament and they could have gotten a better answer. Because going to look at the facility would not give you an answer to why it is not completed. Would that give them an answer? Do you have any government official standing there who can give you answers about why the building is not completed? The best place to get information to understand why the hospital is not completed is asking a question in Parliament. The ranking can ask an urgent question in Parliament for the Minister of Health or the Minister for Defense.
But don't you also think that will serve as evidence for them to ask the critical question on the floor of Parliament?
They know the evidence. Let me tell you why they know the evidence. Because in 2019, Mitty, the then Minister for Interior and Defense, came to Parliament to answer questions about the completion of the hospital. When Rankin was the chairman on health, and Mitty said the building was on course. But when you move to 2020, again, when they asked him another question, he said that in late 2019, he said the building had come to a halt because they had changed the subcontractor in Ghana and given it to a new person who was working around to complete it. But at the end, he couldn't complete it. That was how it ended. So the Ranking today, who was chairman of the health committee, knew that Nitiwu told them that the building had come to a halt. And it had never continued. It stopped at where Nitiwu told us that it was 90% complete for the hospital, 50% complete for the ancillary facilities like the accommodation, and in total, 70% of the project has completed but has come to a halt. Nitiwu told them this in Parliament. And so far, we've not heard that any work has been done there. So the ranking today, who was the chairman of the health committee, knows the state of the building, knows the state of the construction. Who started the construction? NDC government started the construction in 2014. 2016, there was a problem of this IMF issues that they could no longer give what we call the tax exemption for them to import things to continue the building. NDP government came to power, resolved that tax exemption issue, and continued the building, and promised to complete it in 2019. And in 2019, Mituwo was invited to Parliament, and he said they couldn't complete it because of challenges. And up till now, so it is not that the chairman, the ranking, doesn't know the state of the construction. He only went there, perhaps, to make news, and nothing else. If they had that building 90% completed, as at 2019, when Mituwo reported to Parliament, why didn't they just complete it with the money they used to start with so many Agenda 111 they started listed around the country, some of them 0%, some of them 5%, some of them 50%. Didn't they know that that facility can take half of the Agenda 111 facility and that it was 90% complete? Today he's going there to make news for himself, to create the impression that NDC government doesn't care about the people of that region, Ashanti region. NDC cares because the construction was started under NDC. After several years of it running from one place to another, NDC came and started in 2015. The real contract was given in 2008. The real contract, 2008. They moved it to Kumasi, moved it to Accra, and took the building back to Kumasi. And NDC came and resolved all the challenges that were surrounding the relocation of this contract from the Egyptian company and put it in Kumasi. So NDC government saw sense in it, leaving it in Kumasi. Then started the construction in 2014 after all tax issues were resolved and asked to complete it in 42 months. They came to power in 2017 and they never continued. 2019, they started to do something again and halted in 2020. The final report is that 90% of the building was completed in 2019, 50% of the ancillary buildings were completed in 2019, and still now, nothing has been done there. So what does the ranking want to do with that building? What does he want to go there inspect and do when he knows that they left no money for the building to continue? When he knows very well that the building got halted by the government in 2019. 2019 up to 2024, he knows better. He was the chairman of the health committee. How did they do that? So to me, he wanted to make news, just to create a bad impression about the NDC government. But let me tell him, the government is working hard to complete the hospital. He shouldn't go there to be making news. The government abandoned it, just like they abandoned other hospitals and decided to build Agenda 111, gave money to their contractors. Most of them didn't do anything, and government is even fighting to get that money back.
Doc, I know this facility matters to you and the committee. As we speak, what briefing documents are available to the committee in terms of its operationalization?
Any briefing or any documentation was reported by Honorable Meeting in 2019. That is the information we have about the structure.
So what is the way forward on the part of the committee to government?
The best we can do, once these things has come up, we will see the chairman and we will invite the health minister to come and report to our committee on the status and what the government is planning to do with it. Even though we have make announcement that government is looking for funding to complete the building and put it to good use, it is one of the demands the Anoche teaching hospital doctors are making, that hospital must be completed to decongest for Anoche. So to me, the ranking shouldn't have even gone there. You should have rather come since the doctors are demanding for the hospital to complete it. You should have rather come with our chairman. Then we invite the health minister, the defense minister, and the health minister to come and then brief us on the state and tell us what government is doing. Not going to the facility to go and enter there by force when you know that the security are protecting it. When you go there and something just meeting, because there must be accountability. We left it for them and they left us. We have to make sure we keep the place well. Because they left it to God. Do you remember that Captain Smart went there to do a video in 2021? and shows how many things were left getting rotten. It was under their government. Their government abandoned the building. They shouldn't get up today and be blaming NDC government. If they really love Ashanti region people, they would have completed that building for them. Instead of lifting around 5% Agenda 111, 10% Agenda 111, they would have completed that building to decongest for Anoche. So that is all what they are doing to me. It's just creating news.
I see. You talked about two ministers, the defense minister and the health minister. Are we seeing them before Parliament anytime soon?
For sure, we will talk to our. I will comment to my chairman of the committee.
Okay.
To call his ranking, and the best thing to do is to invite the two ministers to come, because the health minister was talking about that hospital. I know very well it's under Ministry of Defense. So the two of them can come together and report to us. Then we can report to Ghanaians, the state, and what government is doing to solve the problem. But the impression shouldn't be created that NDC government has abandoned the hospital. It is that it is money that we need to complete that hospital. And even we have to assess what is there when we get the money, so that we can re-award a contract for it to be completed. Because the contractor who was there has left the site. He's no more there.
Doc, I'm grateful for your time this evening. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
So that's Dr. Thomas Winsum Anaba, who is a member of Parliament for Garu, but also a member on the Health Committee of Parliament. This is 505 on Class 91.3, just about 41 minutes after 5.
Nothing on her. Those in power fear what she can do. She is Madame, and she is here. On one hand, she's a humanitarian, and on the other, she's using them to seduce men in power for favors. Madame is a new drama series that explores the evils of an uncontrolled system where young women are exploited. Showing Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. on Aquaba Magic, DSTV channel 150 and Go TV channel 102. Stay connected on Star 759 Harsh.
It's a goal! The World Cup football fever is here, and Electroland Ghana Limited is bringing the excitement of the stadium right into your home with unbeatable soccer promotion. Experience every goal and celebration in clarity, just like you're live at the stadium with discounts on Samsung, TCL, and NASCO Smart TVs. Make every match day perfect for your football watch parties with powerful air conditioners and air coolers, top and bottom mount chest and display fridges, gas cooker, washing machines, microwaves, small kitchen appliances, and more. This is the biggest football promo of the year. Rush to our showrooms and authorized dealer shops or call 050-315-9739. Electroland, bringing the stadium home.
"30 years ago, MTN arrived in Ghana and everything changed. Now, to celebrate 30 years, we are giving back big time. The MTN at 30 promo is here. 9 Toyota Land Cruiser Prados to be won. Over 10 million Ghana cedis in rewards, plus so much more. Connect to your everyday hustle on MTN. Make video calls. Browse the internet for business with family and friends. Connect your home to MTN Fiber. Make that money move on Momo and stay ahead, because every move counts. Ghana. Let's celebrate 30 years of MTN with the MTN at 30 promo. Use more MTN services, build more points, and win big. Dial star 530 hash or visit the My MTN app for more.
Ghana, a nation built on the blood and toil of our fathers. We have come this far through peaceful coexistence, and together we have made progress, strengthened our democracy, and earned respect among nations. But the Ghana we want calls for renewed commitment and renewed values: integrity, discipline, responsibility, unity, and faith in one another. That's why His Excellency John Dramani Mahama invites all Ghanaians to join in the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving, a time to seek God's face and recommit ourselves to our nation's future. The theme for this year is Resetting Our Values to Build the Ghana We Want. Wednesday, 1st July 2026. Christian service, State House Forecourt, 8 a.m. sharp. Muslim service, National Mosque, Kanda, 12:30 p.m. All attendees must be seated by 7 a.m. for the Christian service and 11:30 a.m. for the Islamic prayer. Come, let's stand together in faith, united for Ghana. The National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving.
You're welcome back from that quick commercial break. 45 minutes after 5, you're on Class 91.3. This is 505. To some other stories, the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, is threatening to embark on a nationwide strike from Monday, June 15, 2026, if the Ministry of Finance fails to release the dollar rate required for the payment of book and research allowances by the end of this week. UTAG said the delay has frustrated lecturers across the country's public universities, warning that members have already giving the national leadership the mandate to take industrial action if the issue remains unresolved. Speaking on 12 Live with my colleague Charles Sakrofi, the UTAG General Secretary Dr. Samuel Segla expressed disappointment over the Finance Ministry's failure to release the prevailing dollar rate used in calculating book and research allowances for senior members of the universities. Listen.
Our statement had two major concerns: the release of the dollar rates for the processing of book and research allowance and conditions of service. Yesterday, the finance minister responded to our first concern by releasing the dollar rates for the processing of book and research allowance. So that has been resolved. The next issue that remains unresolved has to do with the agreement we had with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission on our condition of service, which has not yet been signed for implementation to begin.
Your conditions of service, what specific issues have you tabled before? Did you table before the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, which still stands unresolved?
All right, so our conditions of service expired 31st December 2025, and per the arrangement, we needed to renegotiate. However, there's a government policy and arrangement going on for them to constitute the Independent Emolument Commission. As a result of that, all negotiations relating to conditions of service have been put on hold pending the operationalization of the Independent Emolument Commission. In view of that, we reached an interim arrangement with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission for some form of allowances to be paid pending the Independent Emolument Commission. We have finalized the discussions. We have had some agreements that are yet to be signed. It's been more than a month. We are waiting for them to sign the agreement so that we can implement. They have not signed. We have followed up several times. The Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has still not been able to sign. It appears to us they also need some clearance from the Finance Ministry before they could go ahead, and that is spent. We do not have a working relationship with the Finance Ministry.
Right.
We have a relationship with our sector minister and the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. The Fair Wages and Salaries Commission assured us that it's their job to deal with their finance minister, and get back to us. And that is what's holding us back.
Okay, so until your conditions of service as regards the meeting you had with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission is actually met, or it's fulfilled, it means that the June 15 strike action is in full force.
Yes, so we have given the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission up to Friday. If we don't hear from them, national leadership will convene on Monday, and then our decision will be.
So that's the conversation between my colleague Charles Akrofi and the General Secretary of UTAG there. Let's go to Parliament, because the Interior Minister Mohamed Muntaka Mubarak has outlined government efforts to address rising crime levels in parts of the country, with particular focus on increasing land guard related violence in the Gas South municipality. Responding to questions in Parliament, the minister said the Ghana Police Service is intensifying operations in affected communities as part of broader measures to curb criminal activities linked to land disputes and unauthorized security groups. He noted that the ministry is prioritizing enhanced policing, intelligence gathering, and sustained patrols in hotspots identified by security agencies.
The Ministry of Interior, through the Ghana Police Service, has implemented a series of targeted measures to curb land guard-related crime in the Ghana South municipality and across the wider Greater Accra Tema operational zone. Mr. Speaker, the police administration has established specialized anti-land guard units in both Accra and Tema police regions. These units provide strengthened operational backup for the traditional police patrol teams within the police districts, rapid response, and intelligence-led operations. Within Ghana South, the unit supports Botiano, Botiano, Amanfrum, English, Tuba, Kokrobiti, Weja, Oblogo, Bawe, and adjoining communities. Mr. Speaker, across the Accra Tema Belt, operations also extend to Boteman, East Legon Hills, Ashalibute, Adenta, Amrahia, Enclave, Oyarifa, Pantine, Pokwase, Kwabinya, Ofonko, Amasamai, Kaswa, Bujumbura, Corridor, Nungwa, Lashibi, Sakumono, Klogon, Dawenya, Pong, Tema Community 18 and 19, and adjoining developing areas.
So that's the Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak. Well, the Interior Minister also told Parliament that the Ghana Police Service has drawn lessons from the violence and disruptions that marred the Ablikma North by-election last year and has since strengthened its approach to managing election-related security. He explained that the revised approach was reflected in the relatively calmer management of the subsequent Akwatia by-election, which he cited as evidence of progress in election security coordination.
And trust. Mr. Speaker, the lessons learned from the Ablekumanov experience were given due attention and effectively integrated into subsequent security election operations. This strategic adjustment translated into a successful, peaceful, and incident-free conduct of the Akwatia by-election. The Ghana Police Service received commendation from the Electoral Commission, the political parties, election observers, and the general public for its professionalism, proactive intelligence gathering, timely deployment, and impartial enforcement during the Akwatia polls. Identify, and they also work to make sure that when there's the need to de-escalate, they know who to talk to. 3, they also identify intelligence, on the ground before, during, and after.
So that's the Interior Minister there. Let me take you to Parliament and speak with my colleague Zita Okwan. Zita, good to have you on 505. What more can you report?
Well, KOJ, what is currently on the floor of Parliament is that the Community Service Bill is currently at the consideration stage. This is a bill that allows judges to sentence individuals convicted of minor petty offences to perform unpaid community service instead of sending them to prison. But earlier, KOJ, in accordance with Standing Order 91+3, MPs are entitled to 5 minutes to make comment on statements made in Parliament. And today, the statement made by the Finance Minister, Dr. Kesela Forson, last week on Ghana's new engagement with IMF and the progress made by government in restoring macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability was taking place. And beginning commentary on the Finance Minister's statement on government policy, Minority Leader Afenyo Markin and Member of Parliament for Ifutu described the government as an administration in crisis that cannot maintain caucus exists only on paper, says that the country exists only on paper and then has failed its base, especially in those in the voter region with a share of national cake. We can take a listen to the Minority Leader, KOJ.
If you claim that your economic policies are prudent and that there is economic growth, the question, how many businesses, how many factories, how many jobs have you created? Rather, your records have it that you have rather dismissed those who were in the employ of the state. Thousands of jobs have been lost since you took over. At the deputy majority leader's establishment, where he is the board chairman, almost 1,000 youths who were employed at GRA were fired. We are aware. Maritime Authority, Ghana Gas, Ghana Port Authority and Harbors, even teachers who have qualified and to be recruited, you can't recruit them. It is another fight between Finance Ministry and Education Ministry. You are fighting your government, Mr. Speaker. This government is not in control of its own departments and agencies.
So that's the Minority Leader there. Zita, obviously there's going to be a response from the majority, right?
Yes, KOJ. The majority side, that the Deputy Majority Leader, Kweko Ricketts Hagan, raised counterpoints, noting measures introduced by Finance Minister Dr. Kisela Tuforson that have stabilized the economy. He mocked the minority for suddenly becoming economic gurus after their MPP supervised economic collapse. That's what he said. He also mentioned that macroeconomic stability has been restored in the country with ongoing repayments of debts by the erstwhile administration, including the dreadful DDEP. Well, he hailed the government for the gold board policy. KOJ, we can take a listen to him as well.
Became what the English people call the annus horribilis for the government, where they lost control of pretty much everything, and they ended up going to the IMF. That we advised them, civil society advised them, international organization. They said they weren't going to go to IMF today or tomorrow. Eventually, they ended up there as a patient, and went there at a very painful time, where they could not even service our debt domestically and internationally. Mr. Speaker, this country was actually on its knees. They came up and said they were going to restructure our debt domestically by doing the DDEP, that is the Domestic Debt Exchange Program. Mr. Speaker, that was abysmally conducted. Mr. Speaker, that is what resulted in pensioners ending up at the Ministry of Finance protesting about their hard-earned savings, which they thought they were going to go to retirement with to be able to buy medication. Ghanaians have not forgotten. They have not forgotten about you at all. You cannot disappear in 1.5 years and become a brand new priest in a priesthood clothes.
So that's the Deputy Majority Leader there, Koko Riketegan. Zita, any other thing we need to know before I let you go?
Well, KOJ, the second Deputy Minority Whip, Jerry Shive, Member of Parliament for Wejagbawe, has made statements on flood management in Ghana, drawing lessons from the devastations seen in his constituency. Well, he's called on government to take urgent steps on addressing citizens about the outcome of the intersectorial committee. And KOJ, I must say that he has called for the municipal and the MMDCs to be summoned before Parliament and also to look at the flood-prone areas to account for their flood mitigation measures. Well, according to him, he says that the move has become very necessary as several parts of the capital continue to experience severe flooding after only a few hours of rainfall. This members of Parliament, both from minority and majority side, had to comment on this particular development.
Right, Zita, thank you so much. So that's my colleague Zita Okwande. Nanajima Prempeh is ready to serve your business.
Let's start with stories from the local scene. And Ghana's economy recorded a growth rate of 6.4% in the first quarter of 2026, up slightly from 6.2% recorded during the same period last year. That's the latest from the Ghana Statistical Service. The figures show that growth remained broad-based, with non-oil economy expanding by 6.3%, underscoring the resilience of key sectors despite global economic uncertainty. Speaking at the announcement a while ago, the government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu said the services sector recorded the strongest growth, expanding by 7.1% and accounting for 48.3% of the overall GDP growth.
The quarter-on-quarter growth examines momentum from one quarter to the other. But if you want to do a good job in terms of comparing quarter-on-quarter, then we have to deseasonalize the data. And so we did exactly that. After adjusting for normal seasonal patterns, Ghana's economy grew by approximately 1.6% between fourth quarter of 2025 and the first quarter of 2026. This is important because it shows that growth was not only stronger than a year ago, but also continued to gain momentum compared to the immediately preceding quarter. So the economy therefore entered 2026 with positive group dynamics. Let's look at the agriculture sector, which was basically led by a forestry rebound. The agriculture sector expanded by 4% in the first quarter of 2026, and this was lower than the 6.6% in the first quarter of the preceding year. But let's note that though it was lower, it still remained positive, meaning that the agriculture sector still saw expansion of 4% in the period.
So you heard government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu. The Bank of Ghana absorbed 17.24 billion Ghana cedis from the banking system through a sale of 14-day bills, signaling its determination to keep liquidity conditions tight as policymakers seek to consolidate gains in inflation and currency stabilization. The operation, which is one of the central bank's largest recent liquidity management exercises, comes as authorities balance inflation pressures with the need to prevent excess cash from fueling foreign exchange demand and renewed price pressures. The following report has more.
Per the notice to banks and the public, the June 8, 2026 auction attracted total allotment of 17.24 billion Ghana cedis, with bid rates ranging between 10.46% and 10.95%. The weighted average interest rate settled at 10.98%, reflecting prevailing short-term liquidity conditions in the money market. Unlike trade bills, Bank of Ghana bills are primarily designed as monetary policy tools rather than instruments for government financing. By reducing the volume of excess funds circulating within the financial system, the central bank aims to contain inflationary pressures, curb speculative demand for foreign exchange, and keep short-term interest rates aligned with its policy objectives. For financial institutions, the 14-day bill continues to provide a short-term investment avenue, while enabling the central bank to manage liquidity without increasing public borrowing. The challenge going forward will be balancing liquidity absorption with the need to support private sector credit growth and economic expansion.
So that was a NewsX report. On the international front, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has cautioned Nigeria over a proposed $5 billion borrowing arrangement involving First Abu Dhabi Bank, warning that the structure could expose Africa's largest economy to hidden fiscal risk and weaken transparency around public debt obligations. According to the IMF, such instruments are often difficult to assess or may carry hidden costs and can complicate the evaluation of a country's true debt position. Nigeria's Senate approved the borrowing arrangement in April as the government seeks additional financing to refinance expensive debts, support infrastructure spending and manage budget pressures amid tighter global liquidity conditions. But IMF officials warned that the structure of the proposed financing could undermine fiscal transparency if the terms and obligations and risks are not clearly disclosed.
Thank you, Prempe. We'll have to cut you there, then just go on with business. Move on to so tomorrow is actually the day to start the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup 2026. And of course, you want to join Class Media Group, Class 91.3, will bring you live commentary. And of course, Accra 100.5 also bring you live commentary on all the 104 matches. So we took to the street actually to ask the people that what do you think, who do you think would win the 2026 FIFA World Cup?
Oh, I think it's Black Stars, because if you look at the preparation put in place this year, everything shows clearly that we are going to win.
My prediction is South Africa should be the first African team to be eliminated.
Brazil will win, for sure. They are the best in football, the whole world.
I'm going for France. For me, I feel they have what it takes to win the tournament. And the players, so like I said, Portugal beats me. Portugal, Spain, I said Germany, Mexico, 3 teams play. I'm going to beat World Cup.
My team is not going, or my favorite hasn't qualified. That is Italy. I'm sure Ghana will take it.
So there you go. What do you also think? Do you think Ghana will win? The Black Stars of Ghana will win the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So tomorrow is going to be the opening is going to be tomorrow. South Africa versus Mexico. So that's the game that will happen. But Sometimes big moments start with small things, a call to loved one, a Momo transaction to support family, a bundle to grow your business. But what if they could lead to something bigger than you ever imagined? With MTN at 30 promo, every call, every text, every browse, every Momo transaction, every connection to home fiber, and every activity on the MTN app earns you points towards amazing rewards, including 9 brand new Toyota Land Cruiser Prados. Of course, you heard that. 9 brand new Toyota Land Cruiser Prados. Over 10 million Ghana cedis in cash prizes and unforgettable experiences just for you, because every move counts. Dial star 530 hash. Star 530 hash, or use my MTN app, just like I've always been using, to participate now. And let's stay connected everywhere you go. MTN at 30 promo, make every move count. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Review scratch for win is here. Just dial star 850 star 5 hash on all networks to play the game. Select class 91.3. Choose between 5 cities and 2,000 cities. Choose your lucky card out of 5 options. Confirm gameplay and enter your Momo pin. Receive your game results and win it instantly. Fun, easy, and exciting. Up to 1 million Ghana cedis for grabs. Review scratch for win is scratch keke. Nedisi Kase Bam is for persons 18 years and above, and powered by Super Cash Games. Electroland Ghana Limited is giving you a big reward every week, every month. So just buy Samsung, TC, or Media, Nasco Electronics anywhere in Ghana from any authorized or dealer or reseller. Just buy your LED smart TVs, split air conditioned, double door fridges, auto grill, gas cookers, washing machines, sound towers, microwaves, blenders, mobile phones, many more from Samsung, TC, or Media and Nasco, and dial star 928 star 8888 hash, star 928 star 8888 hash, or go to register.electrolandraffles.com to enter our weekly and monthly draws approved by NLA on the Caritas platform. Electroland Ghana Limited, rewarding your patronage the big way. That's our wrap up 505 on class 91.3. We came to live from our studios here at digital address GL0423598. Not Laboni, third daddy work on class 91.3 FM in Accra, across the country and across the world on classfmonline.com. We are back tomorrow at 5 p.m. with 505. My name is Kwame Okyere Jnr. Always a pleasure serving you 505. Good evening, good night.
Bringing you the best in television content.